big up everybody. Welcome back to TJ Warren TV. Welcome back to the 115th episode of American Idiots. Today we have a guest who was on the first episode of American Idiots, our returning champion. Jez is Arsenal. Jez, how you doing, man? You good?
Good, man. It's a pleasure to be back here once again. It's been way too long, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know everybody's busy in life and everything like that, but it's an absolute pleasure to be back with you two gentlemen.
Thank you, buddy.
Looking forward to this show.
Excellent.
Excellent. And Dow?
Yes.
You're living life? I can just tell by your demeanor today. Why are you so excited today, Dow?
Because I'm not sick anymore like I was for 2 weeks at the end of December. It's great to have Jez back on the show. Great to see you
100%.
again, TJ, after about 3 weeks, literally 3 weeks off or so.
Yeah.
It's a new year, so I'm always kind of trying to be an optimist. New year, new experiences, new adventures, new hope. And also, I've got the Goonie gavel. Big up for Mrs. Goonie. Bring justice to this club. And also, the wife is a queen right now. She's putting together our new king-size bed, mattress, all that we ordered. So finally getting the nicer king-size bed upstairs so I can sleep like that.
Yeah. Spread out.
So I mean, at least things are on the upward. Work is good. And it's great to see you guys again. And let's dive into what the hell we saw yesterday.
Oh God, we saw a snooze fest. We saw people taking Ambien at halftime and then forgetting how to play football. But while everybody is here, big up the chat, big up everybody who is liking, sharing, and subscribing. Obviously, hit the notification bell after you hit the sub, and of course, play along in the comments with us. Last show got a little out of control, but that's what we love here. We love big debate, which is why Dow got the gavel to keep order in the court. But let's get into it. I didn't talk about it. I didn't do a review on this channel, honestly, because I was pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. I've not been very critical of Mikel Arteta because we've lost 2 games all season. But what I saw yesterday was a lack of ingenuity, a lack of how do we say it? Balls. Let's just say that. We have a lot more to lose and also a lot more to gain by going at Liverpool at home. I did not see anything, especially in that second half. That second half was not a championship winning team. That was not a Premier League winning team. That was a team that was afraid. That was a team that was afraid of making mistakes. And this is where we get in trouble, gentlemen, every single year under this manager, is being too pragmatic, being afraid to lose. But when you're afraid to lose, you're afraid to win sometimes, and that's what I saw yesterday. Look, I'm not going to complain about 2 losses since August, but if you're going to go out there and get a draw and not give any effort against a Liverpool team that is there to be got at, one of the worst Liverpool teams since the Premier League was founded, there's really just no excuses for that. And I have some criticism of the manager. I have some criticism of the personnel, but want to get your guys' thoughts just on the game overall, because honestly, man, that was a snooze fest. I regret actually getting distracted from work to watch it, to be honest with you.
Go on, Jezza.
Yeah, Jezza. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, yeah, I actually predicted a 2-1 win for Arsenal.
Me too.
It was very lackluster. And we've heard the usual bullshit. Oh, it's raining. Well, it's raining for both teams. You know what I mean? So, what's that about? It's a shambolic display by Arsenal. A team, basically, that we should have taken apart. Their bench was weak. They had no striker. Right,
True.
No striker, and yet they hit the crossbar.
Connor Bradley, man,
that's a concern. And being the fact where we were in the league at this point, okay, we're 6 points clear, but come on, people, this is where a team like Arsenal, with this world-class manager, should be making a statement.
100%.
Right, we're here. You're not going to beat us. And basically we couldn't beat a very poor Liverpool team. Not saying it's the worst display I've seen between Arsenal and Liverpool, but we just can't. What is it? What's so annoying? Right, they were there to be taken. We just couldn't deliver, and this what gives me all the concerns about. Against Bournemouth, I actually thought fantastic game of football. Loved it. Proper toe-to-toe football. And Arteta got it absolutely bang on. And then we come to this game at the Emirates, and he gets it all totally wrong. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm starting to have a concern about a few players.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I'm thinking, are they suited for the Premier League? Gyökeres is the one I'm thinking. Is he really suited for the Premier League? It's a totally different game from the league he came from. It's more physical. It's faster paced. I don't think he's adapted yet.
Agreed.
But he's had since August. So that's my concern. I'm not writing him off. Don't get me wrong. I'm not writing him off. But we need to see more. He needs to go looking for that ball more. People say, "Oh, he doesn't get the passes, this, that, and the other." Well, I hear that, but he needs to start looking a little bit harder. Sometimes he's out of position. Sometimes he's in position. He doesn't get the through ball. But I don't know. I'll bide my time on that one. But
Jez, let me ask you, Jez, real quick. If you were to make a list of pros and cons for Gyökeres, what do you think would be longer, the pros or the cons? And I get what you're saying, but to me, it's kind of evening out because we have. I've said on this show with TJ before, and been in your chat, of course, many times, and said that he is making runs, he is looking over his shoulder, he is playing off the shoulder of the CB. But I gotta be honest, guys, I didn't see any of that yesterday. No. I didn't see any of that yesterday. I saw it against Villa. I saw it against Everton. I saw it against Fulham, et cetera, in some of the games we've had the last 6 to 8 weeks. And that's kind of been my defense of him. But fellas, we're talking one open play goal from 13 matches now. Not, of course, not counting the Everton penalty, right? One, guys. So 2 total with the Everton penalty. I mean, that's just, is that service, or is he just not there? Because there was balls across the face of the goal yesterday. Nobody was there in the first half. I think Saka put a couple through. Obviously, Madueke put one through when Gyökeres was off. So just what do you think, Jez, and then TJ, like, is the con list longer than the pros right now, which I think it is. But at the same time, I think that will even out, right? It's going to take time for those cons to go away and those pros to add up. Is it a matter of time, or is it a matter of tactics, right? Because that's what we're looking at. Is it time over tactics, or vice versa?
Yeah, I'll let Jez take that one first. I have a few ideas.
Right now, what I'm seeing is a player lacking confidence now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we know what happens when players get into a lack of confidence. They're in the wrong position. They don't know where they're going to go. They don't know where the ball's going to come from. And there's 2 problems here. He's not getting the balls in the right position where he wants to have them. Look, he's a fox in the box type player.
Right.
And he needs to have that ball at feet. Right now, it's not working out for him. And that happens. We know that happens with footballers. It happened with Ian Wright. It happened with, dare I say it, Thierry Henry.
For sure.
But we had a better manager at the time, 2 better managers that could adapt those players to receive the ball, make them actually into goal scorers. I don't see that with Arteta. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically he's putting this player to the sword, and he quite evidently is not happy what's happening on the pitch. And the fact that he got binned off yesterday, I'm not surprised at all. He was very poor. But also, you have to look at the captain. He's shit. He's terrible.
He was bad yesterday.
This is what TJ and I just talked about, how good he's kind of been the last few games, but was telling our man TJ, just wait for that other foot to drop, right?
He's just so wildly inconsistent, and there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in our fan base and out of our fan base that are saying that we've been harsh on him all season. I completely disagree. Like if he's going to be that maestro in the midfield that is supposed to be controlling both the creativity and the pace of the game, he did a very poor job of it yesterday. And just going back to Gyökeres real quick, I want to make a quick point. I think Jez is spot on. We've talked about this for the last couple of weeks, especially now that we're kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm speaking for myself. I don't want to speak for you two, but Gyökeres is on fraud watch for me, in a big way. I think that he has gotten the ball on his feet enough to show that he has any sort of quality and he can put it in the back of the net. He has not done that unless it's through a PK or he's playing against Leeds. Or it's as in a cup game, getting it to his feet, right? These are things where in the Premier League that's the minimum expectation and he's not meeting it. That's number one. Number two, you have to kind of you have to consider who the manager is, right? We know Mikel Arteta is a stubborn individual who will not change his tactics if he thinks for one person he thinks it's benefiting the other 9 outfield players, right? So if he's going to continue to play a false 9 and have Gyökeres be that false 9, but sort of not be that false 9, have him running it in behind, but pulling away defenders, but not actually, he's just kind of running into them. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like there were portions of play last game where I thought we were playing with 10 men. I'm going to be really honest with you. Like he just disappeared and hid behind a lot of defenders and really left our wingers out there to dry. Like a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, well, Saka's having a rough season. Martinelli's having a rough season. Well, Martinelli is Martinelli, but Trossard, we're having to really create through the likes of Leandro Trossard, Madueke, Eze, whoever's playing on the left. The moral of the story is we're having to generate all of our goals through our wingers and our midfielders. That's a huge problem when we just paid $60 million for the best striker on the planet. It means we're not utilizing him. So Mikel Arteta either adjust the strategy to get to this guy, or I'm sorry, he's a guy that is going to end up being a flop for Arsenal. Okay, like somebody was sharing statistics in the Gooner Lounge chat this morning where he has a worse goal return ratio than Scamacca. Okay, this is a huge problem. This is a big, and we're not talking about this enough because we're papering over the cracks. I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, but we're papering over the cracks because we have a 6-point lead in January. We could have had 8. But we fouled it up. There was a Liverpool team that was there to be gotten at, and a disorganized team that was playing their right back at right wing, purely based on athleticism and the fact that their other right winger is injured or at AFCON. So it's one of those things where if you can't adjust and beat that, then you're gonna get criticized. I'm sorry. Look, and Acers is putting it right on the line here. Kai Havertz is nearly match fit for the Arteta system. I'm telling you, Kai Havertz is going to come in here and look better in this system. I hate to say it. I don't like saying it, but he's going to. So, and you look at how good Gabriel Jesus looks. Whenever he comes on, he automatically fits into that link-up play on the wingers. And here's the problem too. And then I'm going to be done because I want to get your opinion, especially on this, Dal. There's a lot of criticism going towards Bukayo Saka right now because he's not generating the GA that he normally does. I think if he had a striker that was worth his salt, we wouldn't be having these conversations. He'd be getting a lot more assists. He'd be getting a lot more help in the middle of the park, and he's not. So, look, I rate Bukayo Saka. Do I think he's lost a little bit of step because of injuries, and maybe is he a little tired? Of course, we always talk about this in January. But I think the players around him need to be a lot better. And could he be better? Yes, but the players around him need to be a lot better, in my opinion.
Right, 100%. But I think that conversation goes beyond Saka. It's more of even what Jez was saying earlier. It's our captain.
Yeah,
it's our captain that's dictating. That's supposed to be dictating play. Yeah, exactly. It's a combination of things, right? It's Gyökeres being, underperforming, not doing a real striker's job. And like I've said this before, this thing my fourth or fifth time saying this, we're talking about a striker-centric club, right? Henry, Adebayor, Ian Wright, Robin Van Persie,
historically,
right?
yes.
Historically, right. So why can't this manager grab some of that football heritage and implement that into some of the tactics? That's another gripe I have with him. He has the ability to change it up. We've seen that. We've seen that with the 5-1 City. We've seen that with the 2-2 City when we defended for our lives at 2-1 and John Stone just puts it in the top corner, in the 96th minute, right? We've seen this team under him perform, right? But the thing is that it's taken away from what has made Arsenal great. I mean, since what, Jez, the 70s? Are we talking like Alan, or in the 80s, right? Alan Smith. Right, and we can go before that. We go to Alan Smith, and then who would be next? Jez, Ian Wright, possibly. Right, maybe I'm missing a name in there from Alan Smith to Ian Wright, etc. And that's what I want to see. I want to see more of a striker-centric team, and I think we have kind of the player to do that. But if we look at Gyökeres and for Etiteki, for example, Etiteki is far more mobile, far more ruthless in front of goal. Plays more to the strengths that would help Saka, like what you're saying, TJ. And I think at the end of the day, Jez would even get Odegaard more tuned in to playing that ball more centrally instead of always going to the right, instead of going backwards, right? Gyökeres runs, makes the look, the ball doesn't come to him, and he fucking just stands there. Like Etiteki, we've seen him. He runs side to side, right? He'll switch off with the winger on the left. He'll move to the right side as the winger pulls back a bit on the right. So, and Gyökeres doesn't do that, even though we have seen in previous matches him getting the ball far left corner and then dribble, and then getting double teamed and losing the ball and falling down. I just think that we have possibly just made the wrong mistake. But I go back to my time or tactics scale, right? If something really changes, is it the time that we're giving Gyökeres? Is it enough time? It probably is. I mean, he's gassed out in the 65th minute. Or do we really change the tactics overall that essentially, trying to be kind of, not as pessimistic about it, the tactics that have got us now in first place, right? So I think that's what Arteta is kind of juggling maybe in his mind is, how do I implement this striker to make more value and production out of his time without necessarily changing my tactics? And I just don't think right now that that's possible, right? Because the tactics is Odegaard to Saka, Saka to Odegaard, Odegaard to Saka. It's the same fucking film that we've all seen now for the last 5.5 to 6 years, and that's what makes
or cross it in and pray,
right?
Without any,
and nothing's changed. Yeah, I mean, the thing that's changed is that we're first with 6 points above. But if it's not for own goals, I think we'd be sitting second or third. We'd probably be sitting second, to be honest. And so I just feel like it's the Saka issue is to me what it is. He's going to do what Saka wants to do. He has carte blanche to do whatever he wants to do out there. If he wants to go wide and whip it in, if he wants to cut in and take a shot far post with his left foot, he has complete authorization to do that by Arteta. But that authorization doesn't translate to the other players to do what they want to do. Maybe to Trossard now, but it's not. He's not giving Gyökeres that sort of impotence or that sort of value to do what he wants to do. He wants him to basically push, like you said, TJ, push center backs around, find an opening, find a mistake in the pressing, and then have him capitalize on that.
He finds the defenseman before he finds the ball. Like he's trying to be like a physical presence there, and like, look, like you're not there to run into defensemen. You're there to find the ball and put the ball in the back of the net. Like that's my biggest problem. Big up Chinlu as well. No, it's just it's one of those things where, like, okay, let's make a prediction. Let's get the crystal ball out. Do you see him at the club in 2 years?
Jezza.
Say that again, mate. Sorry.
Jez, do you see Victor Gyökeres at the club in 2 years?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. There's a possibility. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm saying no. I'm 100% saying no.
Reason I say that, currently under this manager, I don't believe Arteta wanted him. It was Spurs who wanted him. I mean, it's good, right? He wanted Sesko.
Yeah. Not that Sesko's any better. I'm just saying.
Like, what? So,
True.
if this manager stays, our manager Arteta stays, then I reckon you'll see him gone in 2 years. If this manager goes and a manager comes in that can change the system, and I think this is the big problem. I'm not saying it's all Arteta.
Mhm.
I just think he's so stubborn that he's not prepared to change the system. And there are times where proper managers, we saw it last night when Slot decided, I'm going to put 5 in midfield and shut the game down.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that's positive football. It's not. But they came there and decided, look, Arsenal, we don't want them to score. We'll go for a 0-0. And we couldn't break down because our manager didn't have a situation where he could actually do that. And that's my concern. Because yes, we are 6 points clear. We're going now into the FA Cup. That's going to be very interesting.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm going to that game with my wife.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Very cool.
The first time in 28 years she's ever been to a game with me.
That's
So-
awesome, Jeff. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be freezing cold down there on the Saturday.
Wear your long johns.
Never mind. It's a day. It's going to be a day. But my concern is this: that we're 6 points clear, but that 6 points can disappear very, very, very quickly.
Yep.
2 games, it's gone. 2 games, and
Right.
I'll be very interested to see the team against Portsmouth, who, by the way, are 21st in Div 1.
Wow.
So I think we should batter them. But hey, we're going to see. But the thing is, getting back to your point there, TJ, under the current manager, I can honestly see Gyökeres out of the club in 2 years because it's quite clear he doesn't want him because he doesn't fit his system of play.
Mm-hmm.
I still, after 6 years, I'm working out his style of play. I haven't got a clue what it is.
So is he. So
Right.
I'm like, what is your style of play? Because I don't know it. But the thing is, a different manager would get. Look, this guy's not shit, right? He can score goals.
Right.
The only thing is, he doesn't currently suit the tactics of the team. And you only have to ask one person why that is, and that's the manager. If you get this player in for the money we paid for it, surely you'd suit the tactics to engross him into the team. And this is where my concern comes in about his arrogance as a manager. It's like, well, we've got this player in. I don't want him, so I'm just going to not incorporate him into the team. That's I don't know. That's not right. That's not right. Use him for his talents. He can score goals. He has scored goals. He scored some nice goals.
Mm-hmm.
This manager is so stuck in his ways. But before I shut up, don't forget, guys, we have 72 different ways of playing the game. Quote.
Funny how that conversation, yeah. Funny you bring that up because that's what I saw against Liverpool yesterday. Jazz was 72 different ways to not score a goal. Essentially, yeah. I gotta agree. I don't think this manager has it figured out. I really don't.
No.
I really don't because what we've seen is 6 steps forward and 8 steps back again. And is there some games we're going to draw Liverpool? You know, you could probably say that with the status of them, right? And the status of us. Yeah, that game could even out. But it's the way that it went down was just so bad, like you guys said, was boring to watch. And I gotta agree, Jez, watching the Bournemouth game, that was a great game of football. And I remember you mentioned that your wife sat down and watched some of that with you and had a great time as well. Saying, "Oh, this is actually, fun for me to watch," even though I'm not the biggest football fan. I mean, and I'm glad that we won that game. But what made that game great too, I think, Jez, is that we saw a great player in Rice take the game by the scruff of the neck and get us those 3 points. And there was none of that yesterday. Right? It's like, and I think it was your stream even today, Jez, you mentioned that, was it Rice being pulled back a bit yesterday? Was it Rice being told not to occupy those central spaces, shoot outside the box? I mean, I'm curious what you could think too, TJ, and specifically on what Rice didn't do yesterday. And I give him a 5 out of 10 if we were to do ratings, because I didn't think he was the Rice that we've come to love. But at the same time, is he being instructed? Like, how can you go from the Bournemouth game away, no doubt, same weather, right? And yeah, unbelievable. The paper's going to look different, right? You're talking McAllister and Gravenberch, and they didn't have their striker and so forth, but Gravenberch and McAllister are still very good players, and Van Dijk is a world-class defender. So, of course, man-to-man wise, it's going to be different, but at the same time, why weren't we able to produce something? 3 shots on goal in the 85th minute.
Yeah. You want me to just take a crack at that? Bournemouth played football against us. Liverpool did not. Bournemouth tried to come at us and score goals and be a little bit more direct. Liverpool did not until the second half, where after we had taken an ambient at halftime and we decided that we weren't going to play the game anymore. I just think that, and I rate Bournemouth, I rate Areola. They're going to continue to stay up. They're obviously making money on Semenyo. They're a good mid-table side, and they will continue to do that. And the only way that they're going to continue to be that is if they go up against clubs and actually fight for points. Liverpool is not going to do that. Liverpool saw the opportunity to steal a point away at the Emirates, and that is what they did. They were. I was counting guys in the box in that second half when we were coming onto them in about the 85th through the 94th minute. I think there were 4 minutes of added time, if I remember correctly. There were like 7 men in the box at one point. Like, they weren't even trying. And that was after a second half where they dominated possession. I think they had 70% of the possession in the second half. So it's just yes, you're right. It's a difference in player quality, but it's also a difference in tactics. We knew what Slot was doing. Slot was playing terrorist football yesterday, and they got 3 points. They got exactly what they wanted out of us. But I mean, you also have to look at us as well. Like, we didn't look like we were trying to score at any point in that game outside of this. Like, there were a couple of passages of play in the first half where we looked like we might. But then we didn't get a shot until Jesus, I think it was from like the 60th minute to the 90th minute. The only shot we had on target was that Jesus header that went right into Allison's hands. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where they didn't play against us because they could get the point and they knew they could rob us of 2 of them. So, and whereas Bournemouth is fighting. So they tried to play against us at home. And they lost, but at the end of the day, the 2 different teams, 2 different situations. They played us 2 different ways, 2 different outcomes, close to the same outcome if we're honest about Bournemouth. But again, I'm going to go back on this. It falls on the players, right? If it's on Arteta and it's on the players. The players could have been. Let's not kid ourselves. The players outside of Odegaard, there are 10 other players on the pitch. They could have been a lot better. Everybody could have been a lot better. Like Declan Rice, you were asking about how we were utilizing Declan Rice. Declan Rice has to adapt to the situation, right? We were a lot more direct against Bournemouth because they were playing against us, and we were able to get the ball back, like square the ball back to him twice and get him 2 goals.
Right.
He was commanding. He was still doing his thing in the midfield. I think he played it well in the midfield. Like, well, not great. There's a difference, right? But we again, we just were not clinical enough in the final third. Like so where our issues are is in our 10 and in our front three. Okay? And that is the problem. You didn't have to worry. Like, I really wasn't stressed about Liverpool scoring at any point, to be honest with you. Outside of the Connor Bradley chip, they did not look like they were going to score. And the Frimpong, like, center to nobody when he beat everybody down the wing.
I thought he was going to score there.
I thought he was going to score there, but then he reminded you that they were playing they're playing an athlete at right wing who is usually a right wing back or just a normal right back with a ton of pace. Like, if that was Mohamed Salah, we would have lost. If they had Ekitike in there, we would have lost. So again, like it was just one of those games where you're like, man, like we just overall were bad. We were just overall very bad. The tactics were bad. Arteta didn't adapt to the situation, and the players that he put on the pitch didn't adapt to the situation either. Sorry, that was a long form answer, but no, I'm just remembering that game and just like my eye starts twitching. I'm like, we are so much better than this. The guys are so much better than this. I mean, and a lot of the time too. There's been a couple of times this season where the quality of players is made up for the lack of tactics, right? I think we can say that. I think Odegaard, when he's good on his day, he can make something out of nothing. Zubimendi, I think, is the same way. I think Zubimendi on average has been very good this season. Yesterday he was okay, right? So like those games where we are okay against good opposition, we're gonna get outcomes like this, unfortunately.
To me, TJ, they just look not interested.
In the second half, definitely. Second half. What are we doing?
Liverpool were the same. Liverpool were like, well, we're here now. We're coming for a draw, and that's what we're looking at. And it seemed to me that it was like a game of chess of, well, you know, we're going to stalemate. And I'm thinking, no, come on. You know, Liverpool aren't a great team. They've got players out. They had no proven striker in the squad, and yet we just could not deliver. I mean, they hit the bar.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't. We didn't really have many shots on target at all. So I was very disappointed in that display.
Hey Jez, if Connor Bradley scores that, do you think that gives us the impotence to come back and make it 1-1, or do you think we just then completely fold?
I think it would kick them into. I'm hoping to think down that it would kick them up the arse and say, "Oh, hello, we now got to start to play."
Mm-hmm.
That was a very lackluster performance. Bearing in mind it was at home. And we are title challengers, 6 points clear. I was expecting a lot more. But my concern is this, that I'm not convinced again. I'm not convinced. Right. Because we've got some tough games coming up. You know, and we're going to see. Oh yeah, we're challenging for the quadruple. Of course we are. We are challenging for the quadruple, right? We could be out of it on Sunday, right? We could be out of it against Chelsea. Oh, what happens then? What's all these big top Arsenal people telling me now? Oh well, you know, it didn't go well, and they'll come out of all the usual bullshit, right? The same old shit, and it's like maybe you want to look actually at somebody else. Maybe you might want to look at actually the manager and his tactics, because he can't deliver when it comes to the big opportunities.
Ask you this, Jez: is Berta watching?
Sorry,
is Berta watching this? Is Berta watching that? Is Berta watching the tactics? You think?
Oh, of course he is. Of course he is. Of course he is. He's not there for no. He's technical director. Of course he's watching.
Okay.
And he's going to be sitting there like a bloody vulture come the end of the season. if there's no deliverance, right, after all the money it was spent back in
Right.
September time, he's going to say, well, and Josh Kroenke came out and said it's time to win trophies. So Arteta knows the pressure's on. He knows he's got the vultures on his back, and they're watching, they're circling, watching him, right? And if you looked at him last night, right, at the end of that game, he was like, his head was in his hands. He was like, oh, fucking hell. You
Okay.
know?
I didn't see that, yeah.
He knows he's got the pressure on him. He's got to deliver this season or he's gone.
Yeah, he and that's what we've been saying. Like he has to go. There's no excuses now. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. The light at the end of the tunnel is an oncoming train. If we don't win a trophy, and I'm gonna be honest, it starts with you hit the nail on the head, Jez. I agree. It starts with Chelsea, and this is another team that's in transition. That we're joined from the car. We have the proctologist. Hold on, let me get the proctologist in here. There he is. There he is. The doctor is in, everybody. Hold on. Let me get the graphic out of it. The doctor's in. No, but let me get this looking good. I like the cut.
Appreciate you, my G. Appreciate you.
All right. Yeah, but there's a little bit of an echo coming from you, doctor.
All right. Let me square that away 1 sec.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So, yeah, not big up the doctor, by the way. Smash the likes, everybody. No, this is a Chelsea team that's there to be gotten at. This is a Chelsea team that just brought in Liam Rossinha. It'll be his second game, I believe. His second match for Chelsea will be a Carabao Cup match against Arsenal. We have to win this tie. We have to win. I'm not saying I'm saying on aggregate. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, let's go to the bridge and kill them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying overall, win this fucking tie. Win this trophy. There is no excuses with the teams that are left in this competition versus us for us to lose the Carabao Cup. Period.
If that's all he wins, TJ, do you want to keep him?
Ask me at the end of the season.
I'm
gonna be honest. That's fine. You guys, we can have that conversation, but we need to see. You can bang the gavel if you want, but let me finish my thought real quick. It's the man. What's really frustrated me about this manager is not only that we lose, but it's the fucking manner that we lose in. That's a big problem for me. And when you look at the competition now, like we play Portsmouth, I'm fully expecting us to beat Portsmouth. Even if we heavily rotate the squad, we should be beating a dredge team from what are they? Are they in the championship, Jez? I think they're in the championship, right?
Oh, the championship?
They're in the championship. Yeah, championship. Yeah, so they're mid lower table championship team. We should be able to heavily rotate and beat them and be healthy for Chelsea to go to Stamford Bridge and hand them a walloping. This is a Chelsea team that is in a tailspin. They've won like 1 out of their last 11. Since Caicedo got sent off against us, he's been garbage. Like, this is a Chelsea team that is in free fall. Their management is in an absolute shambles. If we can't beat this team, then we have to take a long fucking look at ourselves. And then once we beat this team, we have Newcastle, who we've shown we can beat on any day, and Man City, who is, I'm going to be honest with you, outside of Erling Haaland and Doku, limping due to injury. They're not complaining about squad depth problems. They're just showing squad depth problems. Like, this is what I'm talking about, guys, where like this season, and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, this is why I'm not going to be okay with the manager being around after this season if we don't win anything, because if we don't win a trophy this season, if we don't win a Prem, let alone a trophy, it will be worse than 22-23. Worse.
I'm at the point now, guys, I'm like, if he wins the Prem and let's say the Carabao Cup, I think I still want him gone.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Say it
don't agree with
again.
that. Give me a prem and you can stay.
No.
Give me a prem.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it ain't gonna happen again. If we win it this season, it'll be Leicester City FC.
Yeah, but don't you think? Okay, let me put a hypothetical. No, and I think Leicester is overstating the fact a little bit. We're not Leicester, but
No, we're
what?
not. But that was
But let
Greenland,
me
and they
put a
won their last
hypothetical
7
out there.
games
You
by
don't
one
think?
scorelines.
Do you think you don't think that even if he wins the Prem, which in reality, Goonie, let's be honest, if he wins the Prem, he's gonna stay. But why
maybe.
would you want him gone? You don't think he would earn credit in the bank?
No.
Okay, why?
Because the style of how it's won matters. And I don't mean style of play, like, who passes to who and so forth. It's how you go about winning it. It's about the proof and the results.
Agreed.
And 1 out of 6
Good point.
years, one major trophy out of 6.5 almost, if we're counting May of this year, right? Because he was in December of 2019, 6.5 years, 1 trophy is not the pathway to future success. It is a fluke in a way, right? And again, I'm not talking style of play. I'm talking style of winning it, not convincingly, right? There's no guarantee that 26-27 will be just as competitive as 25-26. There's no guarantee that 26-27 is going to have the same players that won it in 25-26, essentially, that are still even going to be at the club. So essentially, if we sell players in the summer and get in new ones, we're starting over again. And that's my point. I don't see longevity with this manager. I don't see that we win it 1 year that we're the shoo-ins for the next, even though that's kind of the MO of English football, right? Liverpool were expected to be top or second at the table, right? Because they won it last year. Right, Man City were supposed to compete a lot more because they've won it.
Well, I mean, and that's been the pattern. I agree with you that's been the pattern since.
That's my biggest reservation of winning it and keeping him, because there's we know there's no guarantees in football. There's obviously no guarantees in life in general, right? But it will be a Leicester City season label for us, I think. And I'm thinking of the own goals, TJ, Jez, and Doctor. I'm thinking of the game against Sunderland. I'm thinking about the games away at Anfield where Szoboszlai had a worldie. I'm thinking about the opening game of the season against United. We scraped by a 1-0 game. Maybe we get knocked out of the FA Cup. Maybe we're knocked out of the Carabao, but he still wins the Prem on 3 points against City. Is that convincing to you guys? It can't be.
Respectfully, I think I respectfully, Goonie, I think you're disrespecting like Man City and Pep Guardiola and a lot of the stuff that's going on around the league. Like look,
I'm disrespecting them. I think they're in a bad state, like you said before, because they've got like 7 to 9 injuries.
I know. I understand. I just think that winning this league is probably one of the hardest things to do in world football.
It is.
Again, this is not me making excuse. I'm not trying to be the contrarian. What I am saying though is that you win a league. I don't think especially in this league, like Bundesliga is different. Like if Bayern Munich has to win it every single fucking year. You Hansi Flick, thanks for winning the league the way you want it. Fuck you, get out of here, right? But this league, and especially with how desperate our fan has been, I just think like you give me the Prem, okay, you can stay for 1 season and show me you can do it again.
Right, but and if he doesn't, and then we're back to square one again, and that's just not what I want to see. I want to see a continuum. If he wins it, and they grant him another contract, which I would, to be honest, disagree with, we could be starting again. Like I was saying,
I don't think,
from new players. From a new system with new players, we will probably pick up in the summertime. We're probably going to let some go, right? I just don't see how this manager maintains a winning streak, dude. I don't see it. I see it like if we win it, it's going to be by the fucking hairs of our chin. It's not going to be a 9-10 point, 10 points. Liverpool won it last season. It's just not going to be that. right? It's just not.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about,
I get what
if
you're
you're
saying.
talking
Like,
about
if you
fluke,
reward it with
if
the
you're talking
contract
about
and-
flukes, I think you're talking about Liverpool's entire season last season. If you're talking about flukes.
fair enough, but they still lifted the trophy, right?
I mean, fair. I mean, fair. But in what you're talking about, we are also still lifting the trophy.
But they won it at a canter, though. That's the thing. It was over, if I remember, guys, in freaking November or December.
We'll see.
Right, if I remember correctly. But I just think, TJ, that overall, I just like granting him a contract extension, essentially, because I think he's contracted to 2027 anyway, or 2028. That off a Prem win that's taken him 6.5 years to get, that possibly we only win by 3 points, that doesn't build confidence in me as an owner, and even as Berta is saying, oh, we're going to go kick on now.
Why keep him in the job now then? Why not just sack him now?
Because I think that at this
Let's
point...
sack him now. Yes, great idea.
Right. We could sack him now.
Is a good idea.
But they're not going to do it. Right. But I guess my point is that, and I saw Jez kind of agree with me, I thought for a second there, nodding his head.
I knew I was going to be that odd man out on this one. It's fine.
I don't see a pathway to winning it, consistently and competing consistently, because I think what we're going to see is the Arteta of old, which is the Arteta of now, right, coming back to haunt us. I think, and I'm not saying that necessarily if we win it, it'll be a fluke, but if we only win it by 2 or 3 points, I'm sorry, that's kind of a fluke. I want to see 6, 8. I want to see a gap. I want to see us win it distinctively to show these other clubs that we mean business, right? But I still think there's a part of me that even if he wins it, they will sack him because they're going to want to turn a page. Right, you know the Croc is better than anyone on here.
If he wins, there's no way they're going to sack him.
They may do that. No, they may say, "Okay, Luis Enrique."
They don't. They don't, though. Dal, they don't. They don't do that.
But they could.
They won't,
because it's. I don't think winning the league will be convincing unless we win it by 6 or 8 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
That's what I truly feel deep down. That even if he wins it, there's still better out there that we know, and we could be reverting back to bullshit come August of 2026.
Yeah, respectfully disagree, but Dal, Jez, what do you think? And then I want to get the doctor with the PhD in on the conversation.
Yeah, I think there's 2 ways you can look at this. If Arsenal were to get past Chelsea to get in the League Cup final, and Arsenal were to win it, I think that would give a big, massive belief to the players.
Right.
I think one of the problems the players have is they have no belief in what they can achieve. And we've got some very, very good footballers. Let's get it right.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that we can get past Chelsea, get into that League Cup final, probably end up facing Man City. I'm not worried about that. We've beaten them in the past in cup finals. The problem is, have they got the belief to go on and win a Premier League or the Champions League, one or the other? If we could win silverware in March, I think that would give a lot of confidence to the team, and I want to see that. Mm-hmm. The problem is with this manager, this is my concern with him. Have I got the belief in him to actually get the players set up and to actually go and win that silverware in the League Cup? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I can't answer you on that one. We are currently sitting very well in the Champions League and the Premier League.
True.
Have I got the belief in, not the players, have I got the belief in the manager? The answer right now, sadly, is no. I don't think he's a leader of people to actually get things over the line. He can get you so far. It's like Dr. Seymour, right? Yeah, you're a doctor, very, very clever man, and
yeah, PhD.
You know, in your profession, there are certain people that you have to sometimes. And I'm not talking to you. I'm not saying you, but there's certain people in your profession that you say, I need to pass this on to somebody with a little bit more experience. I can't do this open heart surgery or whatever. I mean, when I had to have my open heart surgery, I went to St. Bart's in London. That's the most famous heart hospital in Britain, because my local hospital said, no, you need to go and see a specialist. The guy, top man. And he said, no, I'm sending you to St. Bart's because this is something a bit different. We do not have the ability to do it here. I mean, I'm sure they're top surgeons, but they turned around and said, no, we're going to send you to a specialist. Now, I know that's off topic, but sometimes, getting back to the football side of this thing, right? Sometimes you have to say, well, thank you very much, Arteta. You've taken us as far as you can take us. Now you need to hand it over to somebody better. You've done it. You've changed the club around, done whatever you want to do. I'm not saying that I totally agree with the betterment of what he's done. But sometimes the club, you need to turn around and say, well done, Arteta. Thank you very much. But now we need to move on to somebody more experienced, more knowledge. I mean, he was, let's get it right, when Arteta came in, right, he was an apprentice. Mm-hmm. He come from Man City, no managerial experience. He came in, he's done all right, but can he get us over the line? I'm not convinced.
Doctor, the doctor is in. No, and Jez, great points. The doctor is in. Doctor, I need to make an appointment, but I'm glad you could see us on a walk-in basis, or actually a drive-in basis now.
I don't care.
Well, man, hey TJ, Dal, Jezza, always good to see you, my man. And this has unfortunately been a little bit long, rather too long of a distance.
Me and Dal were just saying, man, like we were just like just life, man. It's been 3 weeks since we've done one of these shows.
Facts. We'll definitely know. I am always on call and on retainer, my friend. So
we appreciate that.
So look, so certainly much to the Godfather Jez's point, after we finish medical school, us practitioners, we go into what's known as medical residency. We conduct about a year to 2 years, sometimes even 3 years worth of residency before we are actually going into our own, either say like our own independent practice, or whether we are going into like a larger like healthcare organization and actually running things independently in the OR. Even just as well in academia. There are associate professors, there are regular professors, and then there are professor emerituses. Like professors that have been in the field that have been devoted to the field for decades on end. And unfortunately, much to that analogy, like Arteta has been conducting his residency at this club, and that has unfortunately been to our detriment. Everyone keeps saying that this is a manager who's learning on the job. I keep responding and I say, okay, when is he going to demonstrate that he is learning on the job? Because as far as I can see, he's still repeating the same mistakes as in phase one as he is in present day. His player management is still woeful. His tactical in-game management is still, on and off. It can be flicked on like a light switch. And above all else, what I find so ironic is that I absolutely hate his press conferences. I really do. But
I just completely ignore him now.
But ironically enough, TJ, even when Arteta has the most remote semblance of self-awareness and saying, things should have been done this way, or rather Ethan should have been playing more games, and that was on me for the fact that he has not been fielded onto the pitch. But despite him saying those things and acknowledging that something is wrong, he's still not fixing it up. He is still refusing to make any changes. And again, we're not asking for, we're not asking for a complete formation change. Like, we're not asking for, to go from one side of the earth to another side of the earth. All we're asking is just, show us the most minute, the most basic foundation of competence that you're able to see something currently ongoing in a game and that you're able to tactically change it up for the better and get a result on a consistent basis. And unfortunately, folks, he hasn't been doing that. There have, this season has been the reflection of a tale of two halves, where we see two different Arsenals. Rather for the majority of the season, we see one type of Arsenal, the same Arsenal that we've seen for the full 90 yesterday against Liverpool. We have seen that Arsenal not only this season very often, but over the course of Arteta's tenure, as well as, mind you, during the course of Arteta's playing career under as an Arsenal player. And unfortunately, the same things that we have lamented about Arsene Wenger's downturn as a manager, Arteta has carried it over as a manager because he learned it from him while he was playing for this club. And I'm sorry, I have been in academia long enough. If you don't learn a concept in the first time around, or the fifth time around, or the 100th time around, there's a good chance you're just never going to learn that concept, period. And Arsenal as a club, as the third largest club in England, we love to market ourselves as a big club. We love to advertise ourselves as a big club. We sell our match day tickets like a big club. Like yesterday's match, if I'm not mistaken, was twice the price than it typically is because it was a Category A match. And we are doing everything like a big club except for winning silverware. And for the last 6 years, the only constants at this club have been the owners, the manager, and Richard Garlick. Everyone else has come through the door or gone out the door. So unfortunately, and again, the only reason why I have gone to medical school, the only reason why we conduct these yearly autopsies on our club is because we're not getting over the line. And all we are trying to do is identify what the problem is, get rid of the problem or address it, resolve it, and then move on. And at this stage, because we have seen so many personnel leave, both on a player scale and as well as in the back room, but yet the manager is still here, as well as for the fact, and again, I know we haven't had a chance to talk about my client, one Victor Einar Gyökeres, but we also knew from the onset last summer that this manager wanted Benjamin Sesko and he wanted Nico Williams, and it should be no surprise that Gyökeres has dropped off as soon as Eze was benched. And even furthermore, when Gyökeres is eventually benched for 29, we are going to have the same squad as we did last year. And for some reason, people are under the false sense of security that somehow the same squad that failed is somehow going to get over the line this time around. And and again, about that false sense of security, we have been top of the league in December and January in 2002, 2003, in 2007, 2008, in 2013, 2014, in 2015, 2016, in 22, 23, and 23, 24. Maybe it's PTSD, but unfortunately, I can only look back at precedents as far as what has already existed and what has occurred at this club. Just like how anyone does any fact-finding investigation, as anyone that compiles data, we look at things that have already happened, not at things of which should have happened or could have happened, but what have happened. And unfortunately, people are still latching on to this manager, emotionally speaking, not logically speaking, but they're simply drawn to this manager emotionally because they think that we can still get over the line with everything that we had last year, despite the fact that it hasn't worked. So I'm very much in the camp with Dal. You know, like we could win the Prem and the Carabao or the FA Cup. I still want this manager gone. I don't think I'm still under the belief that we're winning absolutely nothing this year. Not only based off of the 5 out of 10 transfer window that we had last year, but more importantly, we had kept a manager that has continued to proven that he is not up to par for this club.
Fact.
No, it's
Well
fair.
said.
That's
Well
fair.
said.
And you know, it's one of those things. Well, I'm gonna wait and see, but I if he wins me a Prem, man, like just you deserve one more year. But if we're not seeing what we need to see in a good title defense, theoretically, if we win, then yeah, obviously sack him. But I'm still in the same camp with you guys that historically I agree with what the doctor is saying. If we do not get it over the line this season, he needs to go. Like there's no, but we've been saying that for the last 2 years, which is why I disagree with what you're talking about with the Kroenkes, Dal. Like
Well, let me ask you this: if we get it over the line this year, let's say we get it over the line,
sure,
right?
big up logic.
It all turns into a shit show at the beginning of next season, right? And let's say we're 4th place come November, December, or something. Do we sack him? And that's the point. What
we have to sack? If we don't win anything now, we have to sack him.
No, what I'm saying is, if we win it, though, is it better to sack him on a win, or is it better to wait and give him another contract, another season, and wait and see what happens? And then let's say November, it all goes to shit, where we have to sack him. Then it's like, then we're really putting the players that we all can agree on that believe in this manager. Let's be clear about that. Odegaard believes in him. Rice believes in him. So they've all signed.
Everybody, pretty much everybody believes in him, and even Trossard believes in him now.
Right? Yeah.
I don't think that there's any disharmony in the locker room, to be honest.
I disagree with that. I disagree.
Why?
Right,
What's your point? No. Let him go.
My point is, what I'm trying to say is, if we win it this season, is it better to sack him in the summer and start anew, or wait till November when shit hits the fan, and then you have to find a manager in November to come in the midst of chaos to fix something?
I think finding a manager nowadays is going to be difficult no matter when.
And go out on a high like Wenger should have after winning the FA Cups, right? Then wait till mid-season to find out, oh, this isn't working out like we had planned. There is no continuation from the 25-26 season. And then we're scrambling to find someone. And Bert is working overtime to bring someone in to change things. And we know how long it could take for that real change to have effect. So I guess that's the root of my point, TJ.
Okay, I'm pressing the doctor on what he just said. So you think there's disharmony in the locker room? How do you think that?
Oh yeah,
what makes you think that?
I absolutely do. I mean, like, so I'm not buying all of these, all these players, coming out doing all this, PR crap. In fact, I would not be surprised if there's even a clause within their contract that they must do PR rounds just to talk about how great this manager is. I have rather there are players in this squad, notably Gyökeres. I know that is going to be reaching a boiling point in the next month or two. I can already see it. There is no way.
But you're his lawyer. You're his lawyer, though, man. Like, respectfully, he's been shit.
And we will get to that momentarily.
Respectfully, he's been shit.
Well, respectfully, he could be doing a lot more, but ultimately,
thank you for conceding that.
Ultimately, the overwhelming majority, if not almost the entirety of the blame falls upon the system. It falls upon the tactics. It falls upon the directions, and overall, it falls upon the manager who's getting paid $15.6 million a season. The fact of the matter is, strikers have failed at this club. Better strikers than Viktor Gyökeres have failed under this manager, and I would also put money on it that you can name any top striker.
Gabriel Jesus is a better striker?
In the last 30 years, they would also fail under this manager too.
You think Gabriel Jesus is a better striker? You think Kai Havertz is a better striker?
No chance.
Okay, so who are the better strikers that have failed under this manager? Aubameyang, who he kicked out of the club.
Aubameyang, Lacazette.
Lacazette is not better than Gyökeres. Come on.
Oh, really?
In terms of expectation, you think Lacazette is better than Gyökeres? Respectfully, I don't think and get that gavel out, Goonie. It's about to get wild. No, I don't think Lacazette was ever close to winning the Ballon d'Or Striker of the Year award.
Maybe what I will say though is that Aubameyang and Lacazette were more well-rounded strikers than Victor Gyökeres is.
I agree with that because they were actual footballers.
Agreed.
Okay, but the fact of the matter is, as you would concur, strikers just don't suddenly forget how to score goals, right?
I agree that the system is part of the problem.
On a dime.
I agree that the system is part of the problem.
And we can also concur as well that strikers, probably more so than any other player on the pitch, they are entirely driven by confidence. And we know that as soon as a striker, goes missing, like to an extent, like how Gyökeres has gone missing in front of goal, not scoring goals, despite his other contributions, we brought him in to score goals. The fact of the matter is, there is personnel at this club that are getting paid far more than I am, right? I mean, like, I'm not even getting paid in Trident layers here at London Colney Renal Center. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I'm only getting funded by NHS funding, TJ. It is very thin and bare here. It really is. But at the end of the day, I think we can also concur as well that Gyökeres, he would be killing it at Aston Villa. He would be killing it at United.
I don't know about that.
He would be killing it at any other club that has a manager that knows what fucking time it is in the day.
I want to put it to the jury. I want to put it to Jez. Jez is the jury now. I want to put it to Jez. I want to put it to Jez here. Jez, are there any other clubs in the Premier League where Gyökeres would shine or do a little bit more? My argument is that I don't think he's Prem ready. That's my argument.
Oh, that's cap.
That's not cap. It's not cap at all.
I'd have to say to you that under a proper manager, Gyökeres will shine. He's look. This guy has proven he can score goals. If he was playing under Emery or Pep, he'd score goals because he'd be played in the right position. He'd be getting the service. And the problem is what we have is Arteta. He reverts to type. He's not prepared to divert, to actually change up the game, and therefore he's proven after all this time since August that he's not prepared to accommodate him in the team, and that is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, to a point, yes. I just think that there have been far too many times throughout the season where the ball has landed on Gyökeres' feet and he's either looked extremely uncomfortable or extremely out of his depth. And there have been points in the season. I think about that first chance against Nottingham Forest. Did he bag against Nottingham Forest? Yes, but there was a first chance against Nottingham Forest where he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he panicked. He panicked and put it into Rosette. A Premier League striker, a proven Premier League striker, puts that away without a second thought.
Hold on. Fernando Torres in 2012 missed an open sitter for Chelsea.
Tell him.
Here's the thing, Dal. Like, strikers miss sitters all the time.
That's my point.
But not like that. I'm sorry, not like that.
Disagree.
Oh, not like that. Not disagree. Yeah.
I just look, and maybe. Can we agree that? Okay, let me ask this question, and I know we have to wrap up here in a little bit, just because I have to get out of here. But
in classic form.
yeah, but guys,
Well, okay. All seriously.
does he look in an Arsenal jersey? Can you name me one game where he has looked comfortable on the ball?
Okay, well, see, like I reject.
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question.
I reject the framing of that question as a whole. Simply on the premise
This
that,
guy,
that
man, I swear to God.
simply on the premise that Gyökeres is not he's not a technically gifted player. We knew that at the onset. We also knew at the onset when we were signing him that he was going to be a post Mikel signing, not a concurrent Mikel signing. We knew that he was going to be signed.
It's a yes or no question. Is he a technical footballer? Does he look comfortable on the ball?
He's not a technical
That's
footballer.
a, yeah,
Period.
Okay,
I mean, like
that's a no. That's a no. Dal?
I concur with the prosecution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
To me, no, I concur with the prosecution. No, he is not. He is good, but he's not great. And for me, I want more. And I can go into the whole diatribe again about Arsenal being a striker-centric club. Blah blah blah. Already talked about that. But at this point in time, I gotta say no.
Yeah. And to the point, like AFC always, we were talking about this. Not one striker has prevailed under this manager. He did have a striker. His name was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and he sold him down the river because he didn't fit into his system. That should tell you all you need to know. And do I back the system? By the way, I want to be clear about this. Do I back the system the way it's being played right now? Do I back it? Not necessarily. Not really. Does it get the results? Does it get the results?
Let Jez answer the question.
For the most part. Hold on. Let me just finish. Let me get my point across, and then the jury can weigh the verdict here. Okay. My point is that we are in a situation where this manager, while we all disagree with it, is not going to change to frame up the Swedish strikers strengths as a striker. Okay. He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna change his philosophy. But we've seen this before, and Berta should have known. And to be honest with you, like if we were gonna get somebody like Gyökeres and expect him to bag, like we should have gotten rid of this manager in the offseason because he was never gonna change. He was never gonna change.
But yes, though. So, but that is also like kind of the point as well. I mean, how many more chances does this manager need? This
is his last one, man. I want to be clear. Like this is his last one. I think it sounds like, and maybe I'm just being super sensitive. I could be, but it sounds like I'm defending him. I'm not defending him. I'm just giving it. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt because we are halfway through a season where we've lost 2 games in all competitions.
Right, and at the end of the day, like the proof is going to be in the pudding to see.
Yep, the proof is, and to your point, we have not gotten to those critical test areas, right? We are not in March playing Aston Villa. We are not in March. We are not in April playing against Brighton, or we are not in May, last game of the season, playing whatever mid to lower table team we're playing, right? Because those are the tests that we fail season after season after season under this manager, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, if we don't get it over the line, no, sack him. But right now it's just like it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, no, fuck this guy. Oh yeah, by the way, thanks for getting me to January 9th with 2 losses. You know?
Right, but I think it's also worth mentioning as well, like considering how our rivals have dropped off. Like if they haven't,
and that's a great consideration.
I
agree,
and also have to appreciate. Again, like we are talking about ifs. We're talking about shoulds. We're talking about all of these variables. To see rather the inverse of this. If things hadn't gone pear-shaped for Man City, they probably would be ahead of us right now. But rather if we had also not dropped points against Sunderland, against Chelsea, we also would have been 12 points clear instead of only 6. So unfortunately we are we are still repeating the same mistakes. We are also still, for some reason, there is still this massive false sense of security at this club, considering that that we're top of the league now. That has proven nothing in the past, right?
Facts.
Jez, final word, and then I got to get out of here, guys. I'm sorry. All right. So, final thoughts on Gyökeres as a footballer, and where we go from here, Jez. And big up everybody for being here. What a great freaking day. What a great show.
Look, he scored. Was it 2 against Leeds United at home?
Second game of the season.
Second game of the season. Yep.
After that, he hasn't done a great deal. But I'm sorry, I still think he's a good player. Look, goal scorers like him do not go shit overnight. The problem being he's in a different league. It's more physical. It's a faster league, and he hasn't got up to speed with it. And now you have to question that. Has he got the ability to do it? And I put it out there. Has he got the ability to do it? Because not all players do. We've had players in the past that have come in, right, and have been a complete flop. And I'm not saying he will be, but as a possibility, this is just not the league for him, and sometimes that happens. It's not just at Arsenal. We've seen it happen at other clubs where players have come in and just don't make the grade, and because it just doesn't suit their style of play. And no matter how good a coach you are, doesn't mean you can coach a player to be better in that style of play. Because once a player has grown to play the way they play, it's very hard to change that. We can argue about, can't we, that what Wenger did with Henry.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't a hard transition, because all he did was stick him out on the left and say cut in and score goals. And he did, because if you remember, right, when Henry came to Arsenal, he didn't score for 12 games. And it was like, well, what the fuck is this guy then? Who the shit is this?
Yeah.
But Wenger then changed it up and said, right, go out on that left wing, cut inside, and, well, we know the rest is history. But I don't know. I'm still got the jury out on this one. Dow, before you hit your hammer down on that one, because I'm still waiting to see. I will give Gyökeres to the end of the season, right? But if this manager can't get a tune out of him, then sorry, sell him.
I'm in the same boat as Jez. I'm in the same boat.
So
Now,
it's a yes then. So it's a yes for Jez, a yes for you. It's a no for me and the doctor.
Yeah. So I'm still giving.
After all this, we have a hung jury. What the hell?
I'm still giving Gyökeres the benefit of the doubt until we have a new manager at this club. And ironically enough, rather the Premier League is at a much faster pace than the Portuguese league. Yet, Sporting Lisbon played very fast counter-attacking football. We play very slow, lethargic, geriatric, Tim Lewis hairstyle U-shaped football around the final third. We do not play that type of, fast-paced, electric counter-attacking football as we had even just say 10, 15 years ago. Right. I would still love to see a 4-4-2 with Jesus and Gyökeres up front. I would say there are still a plethora of things that can be done to get the best out of an out and out striker. This manager said, and I will end it on this legal precedent, right? This manager has already said that we must give one Kai Havertz, Beetlejuice,
50 games
50 games.
before we can judge him. Now, of course, I say this all tongue in cheek simply because Arsenal do not have the time to be entertaining this, but simply just on that premise that we were giving someone who was already to be proven to be a league flop. This manager wanted him despite that and has only proven to be nothing more than a league flop and a complete financial deadweight at this club. The least we can do is give Gyökeres the benefit of the doubt, knowing that he was signed as a post-Arteta signing for the new manager when they come in next summer. And after that full season, if Gyökeres is still flopping, either sell him or bench him and get someone else.
True.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show. Big up Dr. Seymour Butts. Big up Jez. Big up my guy Dal, Oregon Goon. What a fantastic show. It's been great to be back. Jez, do you have anything coming up that you want to plug, my friend? I know you did a show on some views from Miguel today, but do you have anything else coming up?
Might do when I come back from the game at Pompey on Sunday. Yeah, I might do a match reaction on that one. First time I've been to Pompey in, oh crikey, about 2002. That Premier League game, as I remember rightly. Yeah, it's going to be a great day out. It's the first time in 28 years that the wife's come to a game with me, so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to wrap up warm because it's going to be proper cold down there. And yeah, looking forward to it. We're going to get down there early, go for some fish and chips, as she wants. She wants to go for fish and chips. Well, I said, yeah, we can do that.
Smart choice.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a giggle out. It's going to be a giggle.
So is this going to be the start of the missus wanting to be more involved in your football world, Jez? Because she liked the Bournemouth game you mentioned, and now she's going to Pompey with you in her arm. I mean, is this has the infectious football caught on to Mrs. Jez?
Nah, she ain't got a cat and helmet.
She goes to Pompey in another 24 years.
She ain't got a cat and helmet. Sorry.
All right. Brilliant.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to redirect over to Maddie, the Southern Gooner, who is doing a lecture on accountability, which I think all of us should listen in on. So go over there, say TJ Warren TV Raid. Go and smash the like. Smash the like on this video if you haven't already. Leave your comments in the comment section. We will be live again next week. I'm actually taking the day off because that's Martin Luther King weekend, so I'm going to make it into a longer week. So Jez, Dow, if you guys want to come back on and talk some more ball, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Until next time.
Too, for sure.
Until you know what your legal arguments piss me off. No, of course you're welcome to come back. You're welcome to come back. All right. God damn it, doctor. All right. You got me all frazzled now. We'll see you guys later. Big up. Later.